Hey guys, there were some people that had some issues with the problems from yesterday, so I figured I would just do a quick whiteboard going through those problems. So we'll start with number 10. Number 10 says in 0.5 seconds, so right off the bat they tell us that t equals 0.5 seconds. A projectile goes from 0 to 300. So from 0, that means the initial velocity is 0, and the final velocity equals 300, and that is in meters per second. And this is looking for the acceleration. So I'll put my question mark there. So this is the acceleration formula. So A equals Vf minus Vi over t. We'll plug it in. We don't know what the acceleration is. Final velocity 300 minus 0 over 0.5 seconds. So obviously 300 minus 0 is 300 divided by 0.5. 300 divided by 0.5 is actually 600 meters per second squared. So that is number 10. Let's do number 11. A meteoroid changed velocity from 1 kilometer per second. Okay, so that's an initial velocity. So equals 1 km per s. To 1.8 kilometers per second in 0.03 seconds. What is the acceleration? So once again, looking for the acceleration. So same formula. So we don't know what A is. 1.8 minus 1.0 over 0.03. So simplifying, this would be 0.8 when we do that subtraction divided by 0.03. And I have my calculator here, so I'm going to 0.8 divided by 0.03 equals 26.67. Ignore this. 26.67 kilometers per second. So that is number 11. Number 12. A space shuttle releases a space telescope into orbit around the Earth. The telescope goes from being stationary to traveling at 1700 meters per second. So stationary tells us that the initial velocity is 0. And 1700 meters per second. In 25 seconds. And we don't know the acceleration, so once again this is straightforward. A equals Vf minus Vi over t. So 1700 meters per second minus 0 over 25 seconds. So let's do, so we'll just cancel that out. 1700 divided by 25 equals 68 meters per second. So that is 12. And we got one more. Might as well do it. Dragster in a race accelerated from stop to 60 meters per second. So stop means 0. And the final velocity was 60 meters per second. The dragster moved in a straight line and traveled from the starting line to the finish in 8 seconds. Looking for the acceleration. So A equals Vf minus Vi over t. So 60 minus 0 over 8.0. Cross that off, and we basically get left with 60 divided by 8, which equals 7.5 meters per second squared. So that's how you do these. If you have any problems with these, absolutely stop by my office hours and we can take care of them.